Ericka, come save me from myself. Or don't save me from myself.
I wish I could, but for some reason, my technology is messing with me today, Robert. I do not know what's going on.
You know, this sounds like a personal problem, Ericka. I'm sorry.
It's not. It's actually your problem because it's your show.
Right. Here you are, pretty in pink today, right? Taking nothing away from Molly Ringwald. Here you are, pretty in pink, and I'm like, no, not that video. No, not. I want the other one. So
this is we're having some technology issues over here today, you guys. So we're gonna hopefully that ceases and we get to hear all the great opinions and thoughts of Robert without being distracted by silliness. But yeah, great monologue as usual, Robert. It's funny that I didn't know
fear and apathy.
That's what I didn't. I have to admit I was not as politically engaged when Obama was president. But man, the longer time goes on, the worse of a president he is. Like it's just more and more stuff, and it's just sucked.
He was a great president to those who were true believers. Let's play that clip again. Play that clip again.
Okay.
We are 5 days away from fundamentally transforming the United States of America.
I mean, listen to those cheers.
The useful idiots behind him, right, who don't really understand what the fundamental change was. But again, when people, I would tell you when bad people, but when any people tell you what they're going to do, you should believe them. When Hitler wrote Mein Kampf, he told you what he was going to do. The problem is that nobody believed him, right? And I am not equating Hitler and Barack Obama because I can see all the hate now coming.
Somebody's going to say that.
Of course. Oh, here we go. Incoming, right? But when people tell you things, believe them until they prove otherwise. And here you have the person that became the president saying we are going to fundamentally transform, not just civil rights, not just at its core, we are going to fundamentally transform America. The question is from what to what? We are fundamentally transforming America from a constitutional democracy to something else.
That's right.
Wokeism is the tool. Multiculturalism, i.e. wokeism, is the tool they're using to do that. Right, driven by, frankly, elite white liberals and mostly women. By the way, I hate to play the race, the gender card, but
no, you can play it. No, you can play it. I mean, if you look at, I'm totally derailing this, so you can tell me to shut up right now to move on. But if we look at, for real, think about all the people that we're seeing in the news who suck and are doing nonsense. How many of them are women? The woke DAs that are going after Trump, the wokesters, not that it's all women, because you got the dude in LA and you got some other guys in on it.
I'm talking about the vanguard of sort of this social justice wokeism.
Oh, yeah. Movement. It's a bunch of white suburban women.
College educated, elite Ivy League schools, mostly. Yeah. Now, again, like Berkeley is not an Ivy League school. Stanford is not an Ivy League school, but these are still part of the elite, top 5% schools. And the problem I have is we took our eye off academia 20, 30 years ago and allowed them to hire these leftist professors that all they do is teach hate. So to the kids, there was this old Saturday Night Live skit that has to have been 15 years ago, which I'm sorry. I mean, I should play, but basically it's this father who's dropping his daughter off to go to college. And they have this really, emotional dad. I love you. And, do you want to go do another year in high school? No, Dad, I'm going to college. And then all of a sudden this ISIS pickup truck comes with all these terrorists in it. And the daughter gets into the pickup truck and says, "Don't worry, Dad. We'll train her from here." Right?
Shut up.
That was Saturday Night Live 15 years ago.
They would never do that today. Oh, I wonder if you can even find it anymore.
Oh, I have it on my phone. I can send it to you. So would you like me to send it to you?
Dude,
so
send it.
So I'm going to send this to you right now. You have to hold this while I'm doing this, because if we can put this up on the video, you're going to love you're going to love it. This was let's see, where am I? Yeah, no, I was looking at it the other day. There you go. So who am I sending this to?
You can text it to Benjamin.
Text it to Benjamin.
It'll be easier for him to load it.
Okay. Well, I'm going to email it to Benjamin.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
Actually, I'm going to email it to Ericka. So I'm sending it to your Coalition for America, Ericka. You should have it. So we're going to put that up. Yeah, this is like 15 years ago. Saturday Night Live basically does this skit, which we should show people, actually. Once you get it, it's at your Coalition for America email. Okay. So, you look at, and look, these billionaires, right? They all care. They all put their money to great causes. I'm not denigrating them, but all of a sudden they come out and say, oh, there's anti-Semitism on these college campuses. I'm going to, not make my donation. Where the hell were you 20 years ago? It was there. You kept giving your money. Oh, now you're not going to give your money. And look, I applaud them for what they're doing, but it's like closing the barn door after the animals are gone. Yeah.
Can you do that again? There's no link in the email for some reason. Double check it.
Really?
That it really is. I think you don't get. It's like all the chicks who came out after the Me Too movement and were like, oh, Harvey Weinstein, he's so horrible. But you never said anything the whole time. You don't get credit for letting him, have his way with people and do a bunch of nonsense. And then 20 years later, after you let him victimize, 200 more people, that's stupid.
So Lord Benjamin, look up father-daughter ad Saturday Night Live.
Okay.
It's on YouTube. It's a YouTube clip. It's all over YouTube.
That's crazy.
So say that again, Ericka. I'm sorry. I was trying to multitask. And most guys like me, I can't multitask. I can only do one thing at a time really well.
No, I was just saying, but it's like all the people who came out after when the Me Too movement started and was like, oh, Harvey Weinstein's so terrible. It's like, but you didn't say anything the whole time. You're not a hero now. What's like Leslie Headland? She was his personal assistant. Okay. I think it's Leslie Headland or Hegland or something like that. She was Harvey Weinstein's personal assistant. She's now one of the lead project movie filmmakers over at Lucasfilms. She's been gifted Star Wars after letting her boss people for 20 years. Like get all the way. Like
look, maybe she's got her own couch. Maybe she's got her own couch. I don't know.
Ah! Oh my God! I mean, that's the thing. That's the thing. You have to be a bad person. Why are you getting a job now?
So let me know when Lord Benjamin has this YouTube ad up, because you got to see this. And I mean, so again, my point is that you have. They're harassing people on the subway in New York City. They're harassing professors out in Berkeley. They're doing the sit-in on the Golden Gate Bridge, right? They're sitting in, on the way to O'Hare Airport. I mean, and they're planning, by the way, there's a congressional baseball game coming up. I want to say it's in a couple of days. They're going to protest it. The protests are now, I mean, the genie is out of the bottle. So that is the YouTube thing. So this is Saturday Night Live back in the day when the, Robert Krafts and Leon Coopermans and Brad Ackmans of the world should have been pulling their money out. This is Saturday Night Live. I'll tell you how far back this goes, folks. Watch this. Saturday Night Live, ISIS parody. You can, but that tells you how far back all of this goes. But so I want to segue though to a different point in all of this, and that is a broader discussion of the whole concept of self-defense. And the reason I want to bring this up, obviously, because of all the threats and all the, I mean, they're going to say mostly peaceful, but there's been violence. Someone got stabbed in or poked in the, stabbed in the eye, and the violence is going to continue. And again, the MSNBCs of the world are going to, of course, say it's mostly peaceful. It's a peaceful protest, but the concept of self-defense, and the reason I bring this up is out on Long Island, Nassau County Executive has put forward a proposal to empower private citizens to enforce the laws. Let me pull up, let me find my little notes here. To enforce the laws, GOP county neighboring New York City deputize private citizens when the police can't respond.
What?
Brad Blakeman. I'm sorry, Bruce Blakeman gave his comments. He says, I don't think you can depend on Albany or Washington because they're more interested in giving away billions of dollars to immigrants who are unvetted. We need a group of citizens who are already trained, who already have experience in police departments and in the military, and have them on reserve in the event there would be a serious emergency, right? So they're not talking about militias or patrolling the streets, but if there's a national or a regional emergency and the police either are outmanned or cannot respond, what they're talking about is having a reserve militia, basically, of former trained officers. And obviously now you've got the Democratic left saying, oh, they're like Nazi brown shirts and it's militias. But let's start at the concept here. I have the right to defend myself in this country, do I not?
Yes.
If someone is breaking into my house, I have the right to defend myself.
Depends on what state you're in.
Well, in New Hampshire, you do, right? So then the question becomes is if there is a threat to the community, does not the community have a self-defense right to get together to defend itself? I mean, where is that line? Now, many people are going to say, oh, no, it's up to the government. Well, folks, I got news for you. In most places in the country, the government ain't going to get to you in time.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, there's places where they've defunded the police so much that there are times of the day where there's no police patrol at all.
Right. So do you not, and I think this is the discussion that this country needs to start having in the public square, is what are the rights to self-defense? Because too often now we look to the government or the institutions. And again, ladies and gentlemen, I am not talking about taking the law into your own hands. Right. I am talking about the concept of self-defense. There's no question that as an American citizen, I have the unfettered right to defend myself if I am threatened. Now, what qualifies as a threat? What is the appropriate amount of force to use? I mean, these are all discussions we can have. But at what point does the God-given, constitutionally given right to self-defense migrate to a larger group, whether it is your town or your community or larger than that? Because they're going to say, oh, well, no, that's what the National Guard's for. Well,
or even
there's a great
further to what you're saying, that speaks to Texas defending itself against the invasion across the southern border. The federal government will not do its job to protect Texas and Texans. So does Texas not have a right to defend itself? And so I think that's a really great question, Robert. And when we look at municipalities across the country who actually don't think you have a right to defend yourself, you have a duty to flee, I'm not sure how this question will be answered, but I will say that Dr. Bruce Abramson's last book, A New Civil War.
You mean his current book? His current book.
Well, I was going to say.
By the way, how do you know it's his last book? It could. Are you saying that this is the last book he's going to write?
No. Well, first of all, I was trying to do a segue, and you totally interrupted it. Okay, I was trying to segue into a commercial break, and the only commercial we have for Bruce is his last or most recent book, A New Civil War, not his current book, which we don't have a commercial for yet.
Got it. Roll them, Smokey.